All right, so in this video, I'm going to cover 7 strategies to boost average order value that are absolutely crushing it in 2025. If you don't already know who I am, my name's Connor Shelafonchuk. I co-founded More Conversions, and over the last 3 years, we've generated a little over $100 million in revenue for e-commerce brands like Perfect White Tea and Primal Queen and Goose Creek Candle and a bunch of others. And we've done all of this through CRO Strategy and Offer Testing. And the strategies I'm going to share with you in this video, they're not theoretical strategies. These are real strategies that we're actually using right now, literally today, to increase profitability and scale e-commerce brands. Now, let's jump into the fun stuff here, starting off with number 1, and that is post-purchase upsells. Now, most brands, especially the brands that I audit, they already use post-purchase upsells, but very few of them actually have a strategy that's more than just offering the exact same product a second time with a slight discount. If that's you, that's fine. I've done it before. It does work. It does work, and average order value will tend to increase when doing that. However, I'd like to show you something that we find usually works a lot better. So the main thing that we've learned when it comes to post-purchase upsells, for them to work well, the post-purchase offer has to actually make sense to the end user. And a lot of times the post-purchase upsells that we see don't really make sense, right? So you're selling products that people don't really want to buy a second one of. So if you're just offering a second one at a discount, it's probably going to have a low take rate unless somebody wants to buy one for a gift or something like that. I see a lot of brands that are selling consumables like supplements, for example, and they have a t-shirt or a hat as a post-purchase upsell. Just doesn't make sense, right? So what actually makes sense to the end user is going to be the biggest thing in determining the results, and what makes sense generally falls into one of 3 categories. The first category is an offer that works directly with the hero product. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're selling a coffee machine that uses disposable pods, for an example, like a Keurig. A great post-purchase upsell for that would be something like a discounted 1-year supply of those disposable pods. They work directly with the hero product. Consumer needs to buy it to use it, so why not buy a large supply right away at a discount? That's number 1. Anything that works directly with the hero product. Very simple. Number 2, second category, is an offer that complements the hero product. So let's say you're selling a decorative katana, for example. A great post-purchase upsell would be something like a decorative stand to display the katana on. It directly complements the hero product because we know that most people are going to want to display it, increasing the overall perceived value of the offer. Now they have their decorative katana, they have something really nice to display it on. It looks better than it did when they were just buying the katana. It makes sense, right? And then the third category is an offer that allows the customer to gain even more value from the hero product. So for example, let's say you're selling a set of adjustable dumbbells that are meant for people who are working out at home. A really strong post-purchase upsell could be something like a personalized at-home workout plan or a 90-day bicep routine to get the perfect arms that they want to have from home. So this type of upsell helps the customer to extract additional value out of the hero product more than they very likely would have on their own if they didn't buy it. Because let's be real here, how many people buy something like dumbbells to use at home and then end up never using them because they don't have a workout plan, or they don't have something that they can follow on a consistent basis, right? And then the perks to those as well is you have a little opportunity to promote even more beneficial products to the end user via the educational material you provide. So for example, here's an even better way to take your workouts to the next level by using resistance bands, and then you upsell them resistance bands again through that educational material. Okay. As post-purchase upsells, let's talk about strategy number 2, and that is gamified reward thresholds, or at least that's what we refer to them as. Now, most brands that we audit, they do actually already have a mini version of this, which you'll probably know as a free shipping threshold, where if you spend over, or the consumer spends over X amount of dollars, they get free shipping. Works great. Tends to improve average order value most of the time anyways, as long as it's done correctly. However, through testing that we've learned that we can actually drastically increase average order value simply by adding additional reward thresholds after the free shipping threshold. And I don't see too many brands doing this right now, which means I think it's a pretty big opportunity. So for example, Let's say you're offering free shipping at $75. You're offering a free gift at $150, and you're offering free overnight shipping at $225 or over $225. To display this offer, what we'd normally do is we'd have visuals on the top of the page and on the top of the cart. So it's like a little progress bar. You've probably seen them before. So users can track their progress in real time as they add additional products to cart. So it's going to say like $49 away from free shipping. Then they add another one. And then it's like, $59 away from the free gift. Then it's $29 away from the free express shipping, etc. So it takes them through this sort of gamified journey. The key to making this strategy work very effectively is to offer rewards that the end user is actually interested in, and then thoroughly test which rewards are provided at each threshold. So, again, going back to the post-purchase upsell example, if you're selling supplements and you're offering a free t-shirt as a gift if they spend over a certain amount of dollars, it's very unlikely that they're going to want to increase their cart value to get to that point, versus if you're selling supplements and you're offering a really nice set of jars to store the pills in at home, like glass jars, or like a really nice travel case to take them on with them if they're traveling anywhere, right? So anything that actually makes sense to the end user, and you want to thoroughly test what those incentives are, because some of them are simply going to be way more enticing than the others. So, stuff like free shipping or free express shipping or anything like that tends to be a very high value sort of reward that people want to unlock, because people always associate shipping with paying a cost that they don't really want to pay just to get the product that they've already paid for, right? So that tends to be a pretty high value unlock. So anything that you use in any of those thresholds, it's very beneficial to test those thoroughly, because results are going to be drastically different depending on what the rewards are and then what tier, what dollar value spent they are unlocked at. So some of the rewards that I've seen work really well: free overnight shipping, free gifts, free mystery gifts, free gift cards, cashback rewards, free exclusive items. That's a really fun one if you sell anything that's like collectible. So, let's say you have a set of like 10 different collectibles, and your offer can be all around buy all 10 in one single cart, and you'll unlock an exclusive 11th item in that collection that can only be unlocked if you buy all 10 of them in a single order, kind of thing, right? So it gamifies it gives them an exclusive reward that they literally can't get any other way. And then free digital items like ebooks, or maybe like courses or video courses or classes or anything like that, or even like a Zoom call, anything really that would help, actually improve the value of the offer, at least the perceived value of the offer to the end user. So if you're selling, again, going back to like the adjustable dumbbells meant for an at-home workout, a great a great reward for somebody to reach could be, 4 free Zoom coaching calls, or something along the lines of that, or maybe a call to help them build a roadmap to get the body that they're looking for, the arms that they're looking for, anything like that, right? Okay, so that's everything on gamified reward thresholds. Let's talk about number 3, and that's going to be pre-built bundles. Now, pre-built bundles, they work very, very well when multiple different SKUs go well together, and they are one of the easiest strategies to quickly lift average order value for just about any brand out there, including if you're a brand that just sells a single SKU. You can, at the very minimum, at least offer a bundle of 2 and a bundle of 3 as additional variants to make it really easy for someone to buy more than one. We've seen this happen in the supplement vertical all the time, where even though, it's more ideal to expand the supplement line and do all that, but if there's only just a single bottle of something that a brand is selling and that's all they offer, the average order value is going to be way less than it could be if they also offered like a 2-month supply and a 3-month supply, for example. So we've seen massive lifts in average order value just from giving people the easy option to select a larger quantity initially. It sounds crazy, but I see it happen all the time. If you do have multiple products that go well together, you can create a bundle of the best of them with a smaller bundle that also includes the essentials, or a larger bundle that sort of includes everything. So let's say you're selling, so again, we'll go back to the supplement example. Let's say you're selling supplements for falling asleep faster, supplements for sleeping better throughout the night, like getting a deeper sleep, supplements for retaining your energy and keeping your energy high throughout the day and your mental clarity and all that stuff throughout the day, instead of just offering, the single bundle of, or the single supplement option, which is like the one that helps you fall asleep faster, you would also have a second variant that's like, get the one that also helps you sleep longer, so you have a better night's sleep if you buy the two of them, or have the third bundle which has all three, which now you have a great sleep, and then you fall asleep fast, you have a great sleep, and you have energy throughout the day every single day, right? So that's an example where if you have multiple SKUs already that naturally go well together, you can build bundles to increase average order value through doing that. Again, the offer has to make sense. And then if you have a single product with multiple variants, like a t-shirt with color variants, for example, you can create a pre-built bundle that includes the most popular color options, or a larger bundle that includes all of the different variant options. Think about a brand like True Classic, for example. Literally I'm literally wearing one of their t-shirts as I talk about it. But that's exactly what happened to me. I was shopping online looking for t-shirts, and then it was like, okay, this looks pretty good. And then I see, oh, there's a cheaper bundle that has, exclusive rewards that comes with it, and it's got all of the colors that I would be interested in buying anyway. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go buy that, because it's way easier than me trying to sit there, and go through all of the different product options that are out there. Let me just buy the pre-built one that already has all the stuff in it that I kind of like. So very likely that had that bundle not been there, and I hadn't bought that, maybe I would have only bought 2 or 3 t-shirts instead of, I think it was a 5-pack or a 6-pack or something that I bought from them. But yeah, great example of for t-shirts or anything that has multiple variants that people would want to order more than one of. You can create great bundles out of those. Now, what I see working really well right now is displaying bundle options that they can simply just select to view more info. So, for example, you'd have your single variant option, and then the second variant would be something that they can just click on, goes to a little drop down, and then it shows this is what it comes with. These are the freebies that you get with it. These are the bonuses you unlock if you get free shipping, all that sort of stuff. Here's the discounted price, and they can just sort of scan through each one of those. The key to that is we just want to always display the rewards that they're unlocking, or the value, basically the deeper value that they're getting if they choose to have a larger bundle. Sort of visualizing that value is very important. Now, when testing this, test each variant option as the main auto-selected variant when a user lands on the page to determine which one performs best. I kid you not, I've seen brands where they have 3 different quantity options. So it's 1 month supply, 2 month supply, 3 month supply. And initially that was the order it was displayed in, and the auto-selected variant was the 1 month supply. And then we tested changing it to the default variant being the 3 month supply, and them having to scroll down for them to see the 2 and the 1 month supply. And average order value went up because we simply displayed the larger option first and put that offer in their mind first, and that more people, and the take rate on the three and the 2 went up drastically, and the take rate on the 1 went down, right? So just by what order they're displayed in is going to change results the majority of the time. And then the way to squeeze the most out of this is to aggressively test all of the different bundle options, what's included in those bundles, and what rewards are unlocked by purchasing, right? So maybe for somebody buys the 2 month bundle, they get free shipping. And if somebody buys the 3 month bundle, they get free shipping plus, a free additional product that's worth like $30 retail or something like that, and then test what incentives people are getting by buying the 2-pack and the 3-pack to really figure out which one. This is very similar to the gamified reward thresholds, but really figure out which one is most enticing, or the end user feels is most valuable. When you figure that one out, the 2 bundle, the 3 bundle, or any of the larger bundles that you have are going to get a higher take rate on it because it's more incentivizing to the end user. All right, cool. Pre-built bundles. Let's jump into number 4, which is quantity breaks. Now, the goal of quantity breaks, which by the way works very well when multiple purchases or multiple units of the same item makes sense. So now I'm not talking about different variants. I'm talking about the exact same item. So think like consumables, stuff like that. But the goal of this is to incentivize users buying more through providing discounts at various levels of units purchased. So for example, buy 3, save 10%, buy 6, save 20%. Now, this Quantity Breaks approach pairs very well with both pre-built bundles and gamified reward thresholds, because the you can give users the very easy functionality to select the quantity and then see the discount that they're getting for purchasing more, and then you can also start to display whatever rewards that are also being unlocked on top of what discount they're getting, right? So maybe it's buy 5 packs of our coffee and you get a sixth one free, and then you display that. And then it's, if you buy 10 packs of our coffee, you get 2 additional ones for free. So instead of buying 10, you get 13, or instead of buying 5, you get 6, kind of thing, right? You can display all that and really stack the value perception as the user sort of going through that journey. This strategy, like I was saying, works very well in verticals where larger quantities make sense to purchase, for example, clothing or supplements or anything in the CPG space. And if you're selling any form of consumables, you can frame it as a larger month's supply and even break it down on a cost per day basis to show how much less expensive it is for them to just buy a larger quantity up front, right? Which helps to increase value perception, helps to make the larger bundles feel more people be more incentivized to lead toward those larger bundles, because if they like the product, they believe in it, then they might as well buy a bunch of it, so for a long period of time, so they can save some money. Everybody likes to save money, right? When implementing this strategy, we always test various quantity levels like 1, 2, or 3, or 1, 3, or 5, or 1, 3, or 6, etc., to really hone in on what drives the best results overall. There's been many scenarios where I'm working with a brand, and most of the time, the average customer is ordering 3 of the same item from them, and they're not incentivizing it. They don't have pre-built bundles. They don't have any incentives to have a larger bundle than that, or they simply just don't offer anything larger than a 3 bundle, right? So we'll go and offer, instead of a 1, 2, and a 3, we'll do a 1, 3, and a 6. And all of those users who believe in the product and believe they're going to use it for a long period of time will take the 6 simply because the option is there. Most people aren't going to select the 3-month supply and add it to cart twice, but if they see a 6, they might take it because, hey, again, they already believe in the product. They already believe they're going to use it for a long period of time, so might as well save some money in the process of doing that. It's also really important to test the discount that they receive at each tier as well, to squeeze as much profitability out of the offer as possible. So obviously you have to keep in mind for every discount or every increase in discount that you're providing, the acquisition cost has to not be affected negatively based on the margin that you're losing on the product itself. So you have to be very careful and test that very thoroughly. But you can tend to find a sweet spot that profitably lifts average order value in a way that is not net negative once you factor in acquisition costs. And then the last way that we've really found to squeeze more performance out of this offer is to test which order the options are displayed in, similarly to what I was talking about before with pre-built bundles, and then which variant is auto-selected. So displaying 6, 3, and 1, and then auto-selecting the 6 option when a user lands on the page can be a very strong way to anchor the price of the cheaper options and increase their perceived value, but also put the larger bundle options in front of people first, which gives them the opportunity to choose that immediately versus continuing on further down. All right, so that's it for quantity breaks. Let's move on to built-in add-ons. Not a very fancy name, sadly. I don't know what else to call it. But so if you're selling a product that has anything else that can be added on via an upsell, so think something like a necklace plus a custom engraving, for example, or literally anything that you could sell an add-on to that is very natural and would feel normal going with the product. Typically what we would do is we would test making the engraving option actually just built into the offer or default with every purchase, and then increasing the base price of the necklace by whatever the upsell price was, and then basically displaying the engraving as a freebie that has a value added to it, which increases the perceived value of the offer overall. So I saw a scenario like this not long ago, where brand I was talking to, they basically had a little upsell bump that offered an engraving with the necklaces, is why the example came to mind, and it had like about a 25% take rate on it. So 1 in every 4 people were taking the engraving option that was presented to them. and we basically we just tested removing the upsell option, adding the cost of the engraving into the price of the necklace, and using that as a value proposition and saying, hey, you get a free $30 engraving for free included with the purchase of the necklace. And the performance of the page, the conversion rate on the page actually improved. So not only were they getting an additional, not only did their basically their price go up by $30, but 100% of people still chose to purchase it even though the price was higher because the engraving option was just included. So AOV went through the roof, and performance as a whole went through the roof for a page, right? So that's an example of what I'm talking about when it comes to built-in add-ons. So these tend to work really well in scenarios, like I said, where the upsell is already at like a 20 to a 30% take rate on it, because we know that the users like the upsell enough to consistently take it already. And then in scenarios where there are multiple add-on options, what we'd also test, we test a default option for each possible variant. So let's go back to the necklace and the engraving example. Let's say that we also have a premium chain upgrade as an option. So we would test the original with both of the upsells as options, with or against offering the engraving with the necklace for free versus offering the necklace with the upgraded chain for free versus the versus the necklace plus the premium engraving plus the premium chain for free included. So we test each possible variation to figure out which one works best. This ultimately gives us clarity as to which default option performs the best out of all the available options, right? So maybe the end user really loves the engraving, so just having the engraving and then giving the chains as an upsell option alternatively, maybe that performs better. Or maybe the end user really loves the chain, but they don't really care for the engraving. So the point is just important to test every possible variation, including all of the add-ons added together at one go, to see which one performs the best. And there's a pretty good chance, if you're in that scenario, that you'll see a performance lift by adding on at least one of those and seeing how that performs. All right. That is the built-in add-on section. Let's talk about pricing and shipping strategy here. Now, 95% of brands that I've talked to, I kid you not, literally 95% of brands that I've talked to have never once tested their pricing and never once tested their shipping. Only about 5% of people that I talk to have done that. And 100% of those 5% of people said that there was a lot of money that they found through doing so. So most brands that we talk to don't do it simply because they have something that's working. However, we know that if something hasn't been tested, even though it's working, there's very likely at least 10 to 20% improvement that's sort of sitting there. So what we like to initially test, if this hasn't been tested before, is a 10%, a 20%, and a 30% increase in price, and then also a decrease in price. There's two reasons why we do that. The first reason is to see if we can increase price without conversion rate being negatively impacted too much. Usually it goes down, but what we're looking to see is if overall profitability improves, if the price goes up by 10%, 20%, or 30%, if overall profitability improves. If it does, awesome. Now we're just spending the same amount of money and we're just making more profit. The second thing we're looking for is if we reduce price by 10%, 20%, or 30%, how much will that impact conversion rate positively, and how much will that change what it's costing us to acquire a customer, right? Because if you're spending $50 to acquire a customer for $100 and you reduce the price from $100 to $90, but now that $50 customer acquisition cost goes down to $30, you're still making more money. So it's important to test both directions to see which one leads to more first order profitability. In scenarios where shipping is free as well, we'll always test introducing shipping. I rarely ever see introducing shipping perform worse than it being free by default. We'll also test increasing the shipping price while reducing the price to see if the price reduction looks better on the front end and people don't care as much about the shipping on the back end. And the goal of this is really just to find the sweet spot between the two, because I've seen many scenarios where, reducing shipping from $15.99 to $9.99 and then just adding the $6 additional cost into the product cost performed better because people didn't want to pay shipping that was that expensive, right? So there's always going to be a sweet spot in there. And then when using gamified reward thresholds, with free shipping as a reward. One of the other things that we love to test is to increase the shipping pricing to see if increasing the cost of shipping makes the free shipping incentive more enticing, which drives a larger average order value from more users. So I've also seen scenarios where shipping's like really cheap, $4.95, and people just don't care about the free shipping threshold option because the shipping is so cheap. So we increase it to something like $14.95, and all of a sudden the average order value goes up on the front end because now that $15 shipping cost is much higher, and it's way higher value for them to receive that unlock, right? So it can entice users to drive larger average order value to avoid the shipping charge. And the last thing I'll say on this is I have yet to find a brand that couldn't increase their average order value by increasing shipping or pricing, or both of them at the same time. So very, 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 very valuable. Number 7, build your own bundles. This is the last one. So these are fun pages. They're very similar to pre-built bundles. In the fact that they work very well and multiple SKU options go well together. So our approach is basically we build a page where the user gets to select from various options to build a predetermined or a custom bundle of all of the products that they want. So works very well in scenarios where multiple SKU options go well together, like t-shirts again, or supplements, or CPG, or basically anything that it's very natural for people to order multiple of the SKU options together. The purpose of this page is to just offer very simple, very easy functionality for people to build their cart, build their orders exactly how they want to build it. And then we also like to pair it with gamified reward thresholds and quantity breaks by, again, displaying additional rewards that can be unlocked at certain quantities. So for example, build a bundle of 5 t-shirts and then select the 6th one for free, or build a bundle of 5 different supplements and select the 6th one for free, or something like that, right? And then visualize it again with a progress bar at the top of the page, or the top of the offer page, or wherever it is that shows them how far they are away from unlocking the next reward. And then lastly, it also works very well with quantity breaks incentives, same as the reward thresholds. Basically, buy 6, save 10%, buy 10, save 20%, that kind of thing. Visualize it, show it, give them the offer, give them the incentive, and then let people build the bundle based off of exactly what they're looking for. Okay. That is it for build your own bundles. And those are the 7 strategies that we're seeing absolutely crushed right now in 2025. And they're strategies that we're going to continue to work, or we're going to continue to use throughout 2025. And I'm sure they will work very well until the end of the year. Cool. I hope you got value out of this. Share this around with people that you know who you think might get value out of this if you did. Or I'd love to hear any feedback from you as to how I can make this better. One of the things I want to start doing is showing visual examples of some of this content, which is what we're starting to work on now. But any feedback, drop it below, shoot me a message, comment, whatever. Just let me know, and feel free to be brutally honest if it sucks and I should talk on something else. You can tell me that too. Otherwise, that's it from me. Hope you got value out of this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.